皆様、長い間ご迷惑をおかけしておりましたが。
The beginning of Ageha's sentence. Well, let me jump in between what she's saying and welcome you to another episode of If My Heart Had Wings. In case you don't know, I'm Lynx, and I'm your host every single time. Let us continue the story.
私、姫木アゲハ、本日よりソアリング部に完全復帰いたします。
Okay. A small round of applause echoes around the garage. You were so close. If you'd won 2 more matches, you would have gotten through the prefectural qualifiers. Dude. Wow. That robot club is really not good, is it? Dude, imagine. Let's not forget, Amane, who was in the robot club in her first year, got to the 2nd place. She was a runner-up in the whole nation. And we are talking about not getting through prefectural qualifiers. Dude, like, I'm not saying that to say anything wrong about Ageha, okay? It's fine. I would say her soul is also not fully into Robot Club. But what I'm getting at is the fact that Robot Club is not giving actual results. Aside from the fact that I have, like, I don't know, 60 members or whatever. They have quantity, but no quality. Also, I'm sorry, Ageha, because I'm hitting you still in with saying that, but you have the quality too. You just don't pour your soul into that as much as into the soaring, obviously. Anyway.
いやー、それは高望みってもんでしょう。
In the local qualifiers of the Robot Club contest that were held yesterday, Ageha and her team of juniors lost in the 3rd match. If a team wins in the 4th match, they gain the right to enter the national championship. Losing in the 3rd round is the kind of result that makes it hard to say whether they came close or not, but in the next match, the team that beat Ageha's team won. Okay. Congrats to them.
応援に来てくれてありがとう。すごい悔しかった。
That's right, I didn't go. Since Ageha was in 2 clubs at the same time, when we had any time to spare, we would go and help the Robot Club. Alright. On the day of the contest, we helped carry the equipment and went to the contest venue. It was the first time I'd been to see the robot contest, but it was pretty interesting. The teams weren't just there to win, they also wanted to do their best to show their ideas and how great their robots were. Even when they gave a performance that might put them at a disadvantage in the match, they didn't give up. When I saw this, I felt I had begun to understand how Ageha could become so obsessed with it. Eh.
それから天音先輩、お手伝いしてくださってありがとうございました。
Huh?
あれ、天音ちゃんも何かしたの？
Why do you say Chan?
私は別に何も。
What are you blushing about?
何度か見に来てくれて、設計の問題点を改善してくれたり、アイデアを提供してくれたりしたの。天音先輩、すっごいんだよ。やっぱ発想が違うっていうかさ。
Wait, you mean you didn't get to the national championship with her help? How dare you!
へえ、天音ちゃん、私らに隠れてそんなことしてたんだ。
I had no idea. When or where did she do that?
私も何かできることはないかと思ったんだ。みんな、天音先輩と一緒にものづくりができて、いい刺激になったって喜んでました。欲が出ちゃったみたいで、次は優勝するんだって気合入りまくりでしたよ。
Yeah, they will not.
それは良かった。
It's good that they want to win, but you know, if you don't aim for the top, you can't win the matches. True.
それから、
That is called
もう
story
一
now.
つ重大な報告があります。
Uh-huh. I had spoken in a formal tone. Whoa.
私、昨日をもってロボット部を退部してまいりました。
Hmm.
本当なのか？実は前から決めてたんです。ロボット作りもいいけど、今はグライダーの方が楽しいんで。
That's what you get, Tobioka or whatever your name was. The lousy teacher. The talented people quit your club because you run the club terribly.
というわけで、今後はこっち一本で行きますので、よろしく。
We all let out a big cheer and the garage was filled with much more rapturous applause this time.
ってことは、いよいよ主翼制作ラストスパートね。
Last Sparta!
葵はパイロット訓練に戻ってちょうだい。
I mean, no, it's okay, I can help too!
ダメダメ。主翼が完成したら速攻でテストフライトするんだから。
Now that I think about it, shouldn't he make a license?
それまでに操縦を完璧に覚えること。パイロット譲ってやったんだからビシッと決めてもらうわよ。
I will. I have a role to fulfill. Find the first test flight is just around the corner. Oh boy, this will be stressful. I think I would rather fly alone then, the first time. To not put anyone in danger. That kind of thing. A lot of transitions.
ごめんください。
Oh, Kotori.
はーい。
Kaneko. Is she in? She's wearing
どちら様？
the night clothes.
こーら、セクハラ女。来客にいちいち裸で対応するんじゃない。
She is wearing clothes.
下着はつけてるよ。
Listen, I'm not gonna complain if she wears it in front of other women. Yeah. If there were guys, well, that's a completely different matter. We are poking the eyes of guys out, basically.
あなた、アゲハの妹ちゃんよね。
Are you moving in the dorm as well?
はい、そうです。姫にホタルです。ハバネさんでしたよね。小鳥でいいわ。はあ、小鳥ちゃん。小鳥さん、あーちゃんいますか？
Why did it say Chan?
アゲハ、妹ちゃんが来てるわよ。おー、ホタル。
I have brought Kotori into dining hall where everyone was having breakfast.
あーちゃん、着替え持ってきたよ。
Hmm?
サンキュー。お母さんどう？帰ってきたらお尻キックだって。仕方あるまい。
Let's go. I wish I could meet their mother. She sounds hilarious. Hi, Kotori.
おはよう、兄。
You want some breakfast?
いい。うちで食べてきたから。あまねちゃん、悪いんだけどハートに餌やっといて。ああ、任せろ。おいでハート。お前ご機嫌だな。ここはご飯が美味しいからな。
She said my cooking is delicious. Let's go. Anyway. It's been a few days since the dormitory became our camp. It's become a routine for everyone to get together and to eat breakfast. It's really lively, so it makes it feel more like a camp. Also, today we have a special need to have a good breakfast. Unlike usual, today's work will be a test of our endurance. What do you mean?
外は快晴か。また一段と暑そうね。
What do you mean by that?
ね、
Are we going running or
妹ちゃん
something?
どうだった？すごくいいお天気でした。もう日焼け止め塗っとかないとやばいかな。 ああ、そうだ。あんたも暇なら手伝ってよ。
Sunburn, huh? You know what? I feel like I only ever got actually sunburn if I would lay in one spot. If you're moving, or more like if I were moving, I would never get sunburned. Obviously I would get like completely brown basically, but not sunburned. Like if I were going out on a bicycle basically, or play football, which, well, obviously when I was still training was happening a lot, I would never use sunscreen. Basically I would only use sunscreen on a beach. I'm built different, I guess, in that department. Anyway.
いいよ。私にできることならだけど。
うん、できるできる。誰でもできるけど、人手がいるんだ。
また翼を磨くの？
ね、今日はね、
Can you like finish sentence before you start munching something?
滑走路を作るのよ。
Oh.
滑走路作る？
Oh, sounds interesting.
ここが滑走路だ。
Looks like a field. Are we going to cut the grass? Restart on at the wide open empty lot, overgrown with large grass in complete bewilderment.
ここ全部私たちできれいにするの？
I hope we have an actual proper grass cutting device. If we had to do it like that by hand, oh my god.
ああ、そうだ。覚悟してたこととはいえ、実際に見るとおじけづくわね。
Honestly, give me a freaking machine and I'll do it. I'm weird. I think it's fun actually cutting grass. Not by handful. We're on the verge of completing the main wing, so we were finally getting ready for the test flight. This was one of those things, the construction of a runway. In the grassy fields of the other side of the lake was a wide, flat area with no gradient. When we heard the word runway, we all imagined it would be paved with asphalt like in an airfield.
やはり夏場は雑草の成長が早いな。
Yes. Amongst them were overgrown weeds that would need cutting down. But making a glider would be making a runway too. We have to tidy this place up. That's why we called for some help.
なんで俺がこんなことしなきゃなんねえんだよ。
Let's go, Mapo.
そんなこと言っていいんだ。エリちゃんにあんたの恥ずかしい秘密ばらすわよ。
Oh, I don't know what she's talking about. Let's go.
たねえ、マジ来たねこの女。
あんたこそ余計なことベラベラ喋って、本当ならお尻キックかましてやるところよ。
やっぱこいつ中身は男だよ。
I had persuaded Masatsugu to come with us.
さすがにきつそうだけど頑張るっきゃないか。
Let's go. As a condition for preparing her meals through the summer holidays, Kano has come to help us too.
私にできるかな。
Unfortunately for her, Hotaru, who had come to bring a change of clothes for Akha, was brought along too. Let's go. Hatto. And then there was Hatto. Dogs eat weeds, so we didn't need to force him. We just brought him out for a stroll. But isn't this private property?
ああ、そうだ。この広場の所有者はソアリング部の OB らしい。
So this person is one of the old members of the soaring club from before Amane and the others revived it.
定期的に草刈りをすることを条件に無償で貸してくださっている。
Let's go! Wow!
それじゃ始めましょう。無駄口叩いてたら日が暮れちゃうわよ。
As the commander of Kotori Habane, second in charge of the club, we began cutting the grass. At the command, I know. As the commander of this operation. Being in such a sweltering heat makes it all the more difficult. Here, There is nothing to block that direct sunlight, and the wind blowing from the direction of the lake only slightly cools us down. It's so hot! The towel wrapped around my head in a place of hot is already drenched in sweat. We'll make sure that we don't get heat stroke. It's said that you must take on fluids at regular intervals. Yes. On a day as hot as today, it's best to drink something before you start to feel thirsty. Yes.
もうダメ。ちょっとコンビニ行ってきていいか？
He will run away.
情けないな。男の子でしょ。
I'm telling you, he would run away.
こちとらバイトとバンドと恋に夢中なもやしっこなんだ。
Alright, respect for that. Kotori, are you okay?
平気よ。お尻が超ムレムレだけど。
We thought that it might be impossible for Kotori, who is in a wheelchair, to do the weeding, but even so, she wanted to do it. I was worried that she, without thinking of the conditions, would get carried away and collapse. Here, have some of the sports drink.
Thank you.
What's Kotaru? A grasshopper came jumping out of the grass that she was about to cut. What? Oh, it's just a grasshopper. Grasshopper. Yeah. She doesn't like them. Kotaru is hiding behind me, scared. I caught the grasshopper and put it down in the area that we had finished cutting. Don't get caught by Hato, he will eat you. Ducks love eating grasshoppers.
ありがとう、青鬼。
I'm a hero! Kanako using a lawn mower that I had borrowed from a local farm was cutting down the long weeds along one side. Now what she's doing is the best part. As long as they aren't enough to get tangled around the wheels, it's no problem. So there's no need to pull them out from the root.
こら、ハット先輩、邪魔だよ。ミンチになっちゃうよ。
I wish I could use the lawn mower that you basically drive. I never had the chance for. Thinking that the lawn mower is a living thing, Hatto sometimes tries to mess around with.
ねえ、葵くん、その子をどっか連れてっといて。
Okay, no problem. Hatto, who doesn't want me to pick him up, starts going crazy as I take him away. Alright. Here should be okay.
やあ、ハット。はあ。
Amanda, could you take care of him?
おう、いいぞ。
Amanda, who usually just stays in the garage, is really throwing herself enthusiastically into cutting the grass today. Oh, that reminds me. At that time when you did the test flight before, it took off from here, didn't it?
そうだ。
Wait a second. Wouldn't that mean that she had to cut all that field by herself? Whoa! How was the grass at that time?
私と顧問の山野辺先生とでやった。必要な部分だけだが。
Wait, we have an advisor? Huh? The advisor? Wait, what?
おう、顧問だ。
What? What? I guess the clubs usually have one of those, but I haven't seen him even once. Hey, Agaha!
お、何？
Do you know Mr. Yamanobe?
ああ、あの若い男の先生。頼りなくてひょろっとしてる？
I don't like the sound of that. Seems like he's our advisor or something.
うん、知ってるよ。
What? She knew about it, as I should have expected. Why doesn't he come to see our club activities?
前の顧問の先生が定年退職なさって、代わりに顧問になってくれたのが山野辺先生だ。先生はグライダーについては素人だし、あまり興味もないようだ。
Okay, makes sense.
あの先生、事なかれ主義だからね。飛岡先生に頭上がらないし。
Wow, pathetic. So she got the teacher to help out when the test flight.
ああ、山野辺先生は人手が足りない時だけ協力してくれるんだ。
Okay.
グライダーを飛ばすには一人では無理だからな。
I don't know what kind of person this Mr. Yamanobe is, but he might be in a difficult position and definitely looks like there would be no end to his worries. She probably didn't want to burden him with anything. As I thought about that, I worked hard at building the runway. I realized that everyone was covered in dirt, and it seemed that today's bath would feel especially good. And in that manner, preparations for the first flight gradually proceeded. We were doing everything for the first time, and we took to even the tedious jobs with a feeling of freshness. Oh. And this is the view from the game called A Sky Full of Stars. This is what would observe there. Ah, what a game it was. Then, one day in August. At long last. The main wings were finally completed. Everyone looked at the giant white painted wings with a feeling that it is indescribable. So many things happened for us to get this far. Kotori looks tearful due to all the emotion. Oh, what are you getting all tearful for? Hmm? I understand. I know how she feels, however. It's still too early, right?
そうそう、そういうのは飛んでからにしようよ。そうね。
Kotori wipes her eyes on her arm and renews her motivation.
歪みもない。表面も限りなく滑らかだ。
Habane looks uncharacteristically serious as she checks over the two completed main wings. Distortions inhibit the normal flow of air, reducing lift. Also, unevenness and scratches on the surface, even though so fine that they cannot be seen by the naked eye, cause friction and create drag.
いい翼だ。
With Habane's seal approval, Ageha and Kotori high-five each other and punch the air. At some point, these two had formed a great partnership.
これで飛べるのよね。あ、飛べる。
Finally, we can do the test flight tomorrow. And that's when I get stressed like crazy. I would not be able to sleep probably. Okay, stop! That's a track, isn't it? Yeah. Stop! Early morning. It's final team for the fest. Team, it's final time for the test flight. That music sounds kind of familiar. It's different, but it's very familiar. Did I hear it in Rocky? Like something super similar. In order to do that, we have to take the glider to the runway. We put the glider in a special trailer and it will be towed by a truck.
ようやく完成したか。
Anchan, who had brought the small truck inside the school from the factory, spoke quietly to himself when he saw the wings that had been loaded onto the trailer. By the way, we received permission for Anchan to bring his truck in the second school grounds. That was the first time I had seen the advisor, Mr. Yamanobe. As I imagined, he was an honest and good person, but seemed a little timid.
できたよ、あんちゃん。
Honestly? I mean, again, clubs are a Japanese thing. But I feel like if you got me to be like an advisor for the club, I'll be like... Alright, I mean, I don't know this stuff. So you do all of that yourself. And if you like... I mean, that would maybe be the same approach as his, but... If you need my help, ask, right? But I would probably try to do some research on my own. To learn stuff? Probably, who knows? Agha lifted her head to let us know that the trailer had been connected to the truck.
トレーラーの中で機体が擦れたりしないようちゃんとチェックしとけよ。
Okay. The glider had been separated into several parts and loaded into the trailer. If they aren't firmly secured of it, or if there is any friction during transportation, it is possible that they may be damaged.
ここちょっと緩いんじゃない？
Angeka, could you grab a towel? It's very important right now. Also, I'm putting water, so I can't, like, continue. Let's go. I put the towel into the gap to act as a cushioning. That should do it.
よし、じゃあ行くか。助手席はハバネさん。あとは荷台に乗り込め。お前ら、手を貸してやってくれ。
Guys? How can I lift up Kotori and put her down the passenger seat?
私も後ろが良かったな。
Kotori grumbles a little. I can't say I don't know how she feels. How can I take her wheelchair and get into the cargo bay of the truck?
準備はいいか？
オッケーだよ。
よーし、出発だ。
He starts the engine and the truck tows the trailer along. Let's go and fly, come on, come on.
はーい、みんな。
As we arrive at the runway, Amane, who had gotten here first, waved her hand to greet us. Oh, I didn't see the chairs before. Were the chairs before here? Maybe. Anchan parked the truck next to the runway and we jumped out of the cargo bed.
はあ、楽しかった。
I've always wanted to ride in the cargo bed of a truck. I did. It's cool. It's awesome.
二人とも。
We help Kotori, who seems quite dejected, out the passenger seat and in the wheelchair. While you do it, Anshan disconnects the trailer from the truck.
達也、
よ、あまね。
すまないな。手伝ってもらって。
なーに、いいってことよ。あいつらのためならな。それに、俺だって無関係じゃないだろ。何せ OB なんだからな。
He's down the cockpit, right? Oh yeah.
そうだったな。
Oh yeah.
本当はこいつが飛ぶところを見ていきたいんだが。
You should have become a dropout as well then. Or should I say a repeater, not a dropout. A dropout is a completely different thing, obviously. You should have become a repeater as well then. Anchan, are you leaving? I was listening from a little further away, but I couldn't help butting in.
これから仕事なんだ。
あんちゃんにも見てほしかったな。
大丈夫だ。ここで飛べばうちの工場からも見える。
Oh.
絶対見ててね。
ああ。だからしっかりやれよ。
I'll try. Anchan gives a great big smile and then goes to leave in the truck. As soon as Anchan left, we immediately began the assembly. Assembly, wow. The aircraft is still in pieces on the trailer. First we put the fuselage on the ground, then we take out the two main wings. Kotori, keep an eye out and make sure it doesn't hit anything.
オッケー。
Ageha, Amane and I lift up one of the main wings and attach it to the fuselage.
風に気をつけてくれ。そよ風程度でも翼は揚力を発生させてしまうからな。
If a strong wind were to blow straight into this, the lift generated would send the wing and us with it flying. Oh, what was that? After attaching the main wings, next is a horizontal tailplane.
ゆっくりね。ゆっくりだよ。
We carefully assemble it, making sure not to bump it anything and scratch it.
おお。
Oh, indeed. Here we go. Standing in front of the completed glider, we are all filled with deep emotion.
こんな風になるんだ。
It's huge!
でも綺麗。
Until now, we didn't really know what it would be like to see the full view of our very own aircraft. Compared to the regular planes that we are all familiar with, it looks kind of old. In particular, the unusually long wings that we had completed the day before looked really unbalanced compared to the slightly stubby looking fuselage. But I wonder, looking at each part and knowing that in order to fly there is a reason for all of it, it feels like something incredibly beautiful.
チェックを始めるぞ。
Amane, holding the printed out checklist in one hand, gives out the instructions to everyone.
工具は揃っているか？
全部あります。
Before we fly, we have to make sure that we have all the tools used in assembly. If there's anything missing, it's possible that it's still attached to the aircraft. In such an event, it could cause a huge accident. We all know
車
that.
輪の空気。
There is enough in the
ピトー管詰まってないか？
pitot tubes. What's that?
大丈夫よ。
Yo, I need to know what's a pitot tube. Gee, I probably know something in pitot tube. No, I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Measures the fluid flow velocity. Got it.
それから
There is a wide range of different things to check. We check for wear and tear on the aircraft and even check to see if any bugs have made nests anywhere. Well, that would be a huge problem. At a glance, some of it might seem silly, but when we consider that we'll be flying through the air in this thing, we can't really say that. Yeah, you are correct. Again, Boeing should learn a lesson. For example, if a bug jams one of the instruments, it could possibly have a negative effect on the pilot and may cause an accident. That's why we must check these things before the flight. By assembling the glider and doing all the checks ourselves, we are able to gain a deeper understanding of the glider. Keifu Technical College. Soaring Club. See? University. Amanda said that she had made some revisions to a checklist made by one of the old members.
じゃあ次はポジティブコントロールチェックだ。
She said that Amanda gets into the cockpit.
右エルロン。
The rest of us standing outside go to the part and that she calls out, in this case the right aileron, and hold on to it, making it hard to move. Amanda moves the yoke to operate the aileron. At this time, if the yoke can be moved with no resistance whatsoever, it's possible that the couplings between the yoke and the aileron have been cut. If this were a car, it would be like moving the steering wheel and the wheels not turning. Needless to say, that would be extremely dangerous. Well, unless you are on a straight road. And you are on a perfect straight drive yourself. These checks are also carried out on the rudder and elevator.
オールオッケーです。
じゃあ今度は葵くんが後部座席に乗ってくれ。
Oh, are we flying with Amanda first? No. Amanda gets out and I sit in the back seat. Then we repeat the same checks.
フラップ、ダイブブレーキもバッチリよ。
Okay. Now that assembly checks have all been completed, I get out of the cockpit. Everyone lines up for the briefing.
ああ、今日は風も穏やか
The
で
briefing.
テストフライトにはちょうどいい日だな。
You can tell that she's not built basically to be like a president of a club. She's grateful. Amane is wonderful. Amane, who would normally be explaining the precautions at this point, speaks with a gloomy look on her face that contradicts the things she's saying.
だから怖がる必要はないぞ。きっとうまくいくからな。
She's worried. Which is understandable.
怖がってるの、あまねちゃんでしょ？
I mean, I am too. I am too. Kotori speaks quite tactlessly and Amane freezes up. And then she shakes and shakes and shakes. She started trembling.
風がないとグライダーは飛ばない。そういう意味じゃ今日はフライト日和とは言えないな。
Oi, what are you talking about?
ちょっと小鳥、どうすんのよ。いや、どうって言われても。
よーし、今日は中止にしよう。組み立ての練習ができたんだからもういいよな。
Yeah, I mean, I understand why she would be scared. Come on.
こーら、何 の。ここまで来たら普通飛ぶでしょうが。
いや、君たちはまだ初心者だから知らないだろうが、グライダーのフライトには本来もっと荒れた日の方が。
あまねちゃんがビビってるだけでしょ。
I mean, of course she is. Are you surprised? If you think about it, when she was flying that thing, it fell apart in a way.
そういう時は手のひらにひとって字をたくさん書いて飲み込めばいいのよ。
What? I mean, I know this is a kind of thing in anime and so on, but I doubt that would
やだ、
help.
そんな迷信信じないぞ。
Same. She sounded like a kid when she said it.
大丈夫ですって。風が穏やかな方が安定して飛べるだろうし。
I think so too.
やだ、
I understand. Oh, she said she's scared.
しょうがないわね。アゲハ、葵くん。
At Kotori's sign, I like a hand I hold Amane firmly from each side.
何をする。すみません、あまね先輩。
It's for your own good.
やめろ、離せ。
While we hold on to Amane as she struggles against us, Kotori raised the Chinese character of person on the palm of her hand and a ridiculous number of times.
人。こんだけ書けば十分でしょう。
Really? Then Kotori takes a run up. Hey! There is no need to run! Take a run up!
やだ、やめろ。ノーラ
She smacked her. Rather making her eat the person characters, Kotori slaps her right in the face. For fuck's sake. This was just like the kind of thing that happens in pro wrestling, where the three bad guys team up to hurt one of the good guys.
これでどう？少しは怖くなくなったでしょ？
No, that probably would not change anything.
鼻が。
Wow. Having had some fighting spirit slapped into her, Amane holds her nose.
ちょっと聞きすぎたかしら。
Why did you slap her in the face like that?
あまね先輩の鼻が縮んで美人が台無しになったらどうすんの？
This is totally crazy. Amane, are you alright?
平気だ。
You are taking the first flight, by the way.
ありがとう、みんな。少しだけ勇気が出たよ。
Hmm. Even a little smile, Amane walks towards the winch.
よし、成功ね。
She karate chop! I knew it. What do you mean?
先輩は私のアイドルなんだからね。うたた、何を二人して。
Kotori chased after us as we went off ahead. On one side of the runway is a huge thing that looks like a household generator. Ooh, nice. This is the winch. A glider which has no thrust of its own cannot fly into the air by itself. There are a few different ways for it to take off. A method using a towing plane is often used. Yeah, where a regular plane is used to tow the glider into the air, where it is then released. This can be done if you can get it to a certain altitude to begin with. However, if you don't have an airplane, which are expensive if you didn't expect that, you have to use another method. That's where the winch comes in. To explain it simply, it's a machine which reels in a rope using a giant motor. Okay. The glider is connected to the end of the rope, which is then lifted to a great height to make it take off, just like the kites that are flown on New Year. That's how it started? Oh boy. The difference is that the glider is huge and quite heavy. Naturally, the winch has to be huge too.
最初はフルパワーで、機体が地面から約30度に達したら、徐々にパワーを緩めていって。
What about that trebuchet? What's that? Would it be possible with a trebuchet? Anyway, Amane is teaching Kotori how to use the winch. She already explained this a few days ago, and we tried operating before, so now it's just a recap. Our roles for today are that Amane and I are the pilots, Kotori operates the winch, and Aga helps with takeoff and landing, as well as ground control. By the way, the winch isn't as expensive as a plane, but it appears to be quite pricey. Oh my god, please tell me. I'm not ready, but go. It was used by previous members of the soaring club, has been maintained, and now will actually be put in use. So it's been in service for many years. Tell me the price. To be honest, the equipment here goes way beyond the scope of high school club activities.
オッケー、わかったわ。
You're not going to tell me the price, huh? How dare you? I need to know it. Let's see. Glider winch cost. Alright, this is the first thing that popped out. $50,000. What the fuck? I mean, you could buy an apartment in Poland for that. Whoo! Anywho.
それじゃ、離陸準備に入ろう。
Alright. We walk back from the winch towards the aircraft. It's about a kilometer away, so it takes a while. Amanda gets in the front seat, and following her I get in the back seat. Let's go, we are going on a first flight with her. I'm so glad.
シートベルトしっかり締めてね。
Asuka tells me to do this, I check the seatbelt several times.
ペダルに足は届いているか？動かしにくい部分はないか？
It's okay. Now is the time to stress, maybe. The canopy, the transparent lid that covers the cockpit is closed.
キャノピーがロックされているか確認してくれ。
Okay. I check the lock. If it's not properly locked, it may open during the flight, which is really dangerous. Amanda performs the final check of the flight controls. Outside the canopy, Ageha checks the rope extending from the winch and connected to the glider.
先輩、レリースのチェックお願いします。
Amanda operates the release lever and immediately the hook holding rope is released. If this isn't released, it's possible that a big accident could occur, so it must be checked out before landing.
オーケーです。
Aga gives a signal from outside and connects the tow rope once again. We suddenly feel a lot more nervous. Now the aircraft will fly through the air. It still doesn't feel real though. For a start, could an aircraft that we made ourselves really fly? There is no engine, and it can't even flap its wings like a bird, so will it really be alright? I've had the theory explained to me many times, but you don't get a feeling of what it's really like from the theory alone. If you want that, the only way is to fly. Finally, we can fly. Finally. She's stressed as well, obviously. Amane?
大丈夫。怖くない、怖くない。みんなが作ってくれた翼は、私のなんかよりずっと優れている。だから大丈夫。
Yes!
さっき小鳥が恐怖心を追い払ってくれたし。でも、いざとなったら頼んだぞ、葵くん。
What a way to put pressure on me. Leave it to me. But, well, I guess. Maybe he's good at dealing with pressure, given the fact that he was a cyclist, right? Maybe on the way to become a pro. This is why I trained on the simulator until I got sick of it. In my head I go over the steps for takeoff. The most dangerous part of the flight is the landing. Oh. However, the takeoff is also dangerous, and accidents can easily occur. This time, I can rely on Amane, but I need to learn a lot to understand even a little about how it's done. I cut up the canopy from outside.
準備いい？
Amane replied, "Ready!" And I walked around the side of the aircraft and lifted up the left wing that was in contact with ground, and the aircraft became level. The wings of a glider are really long and it can't stand on its wheels like a normal plane, so it is placed with one of the wings touching the ground. That's why, when launching it, someone has to run along holding the wing up until it gains lift. Wow, that's nuts. Aga, who is holding up the wing, gives a signal that launch preparations are complete to Kotori, who is waiting far away.
行くぞ、葵くん。
Asmane speaks quietly to me. Let's go! The aircraft suddenly lifted up. Pulled by the winch, the glider quickly accelerates. The wheels bounce along the unpaved runway. Aga ran along while holding up the left wing. I look at her from the side and our eyes met.
行ってこい。
See you if we get back! Yeah! Woo! A few seconds after the aircraft started moving along the runway, it felt like it was floating upwards. That was after only moving along a few meters. After it had started to float slightly while accelerating.
上昇するぞ。
Amane pulled back on the yoke. The aircraft pointed upwards. I don't know what the angle was, but I felt like it was a really steep angle. Adios! My whole body was shaking from the G-force. It felt like the floating station was equal to the feeling of being pulled by the winch. I looked down through the canopy. Whew! However, at this angle, the main wings blocked my field of vision, and I could hardly see the ground at all. How high are we now? I mean, dude, look at the... Being unsure of the situation sowed the seeds of fear in my mind.
平行線切り離す。
She has control over everything. Let's go. She might have been afraid beforehand, but... Yeah. The feeling of being pulled suddenly disappears, and the aircraft floated gently like it has been set free. That's because it had been released from the winch. Let's go. We're flying! From that moment, the glider was no longer borrowing power from something else, it was flying all by itself. I've never experienced this before, this strange feeling of floating. The sound of the wind is extremely loud.
葵くん、平行策を確認してくれ。
I see the back seat turned around to... Wait, I thought Amane was in the back seat. Ah, whatever. Turned around to see the tow rope that had been safely released. The rope with a small parachute attached falls slowly to the ground. Release! Confirmed!
よし、離陸成功だ。
The glider was able to fly in the sky without any problems.
飛んでる。ちゃんと空飛んでるよ。アゲハ、見て見て、飛んでるよ。見てるよ。すごい。私たちが作った翼が飛んでる。 やっぱり感慨深いものがあるわね。あ、ロープが降りてきた。回収しとかなくちゃ。いいな、葵くん。
We really are flying. My face is awesome!
下は見ない方がいいぞ。怖いからな。
I'm looking. You don't need to look down. Please keep looking straight ahead.
ラジャー。
I'll be the one to look down. I would totally look down. I checked the ground in place of Amane. We're about 300 meters above the ground. Oh, Aga is going to get the tow rope. The tow rope, in other words, the rope coming out from the winch, was attached to the bottom of the aircraft by a hook. The hook can be detached at any time from the cockpit, and it's usually done just before the glider reaches the point above the winch. Even if there is a problem with the controls for detaching it, once the glider goes past the point of being directly above the winch and is pulled from behind, it automatically releases. Oh. Once it's released, a small parachute is opened, and it falls slowly back to the ground. That's interesting. If it's not detached, it can cause a terrible accident, so we must check to see if it has been released. Yeah, I mean, it would probably, like, snatch you back, right? Ow. As I sat in the back seat, I enjoyed the view from 300 meters above the ground. We're overlooking the city. I could see the roof of Flying Fish Manor, which was quite close to the runway. I could also see Agaha's house, which looked tiny. Oh, it's a school. Wow, we're already flying!
あんまり飛んでると言わないでくれないか。意識してしまうじゃないか。
Oh, sorry. I hold my tongue and enjoy my first flight. When I saw the glider flying from below, it looked like it was really carefree as it flew, but once you actually ride it, it really does feel carefree after all. However, hearing the rushing sound of the wind and the feeling that the wind resistance goes right to my body are things that you don't get from the simulator. These things are the forces that keep the glider, which has no thrust, in the air. Even when the aircraft moves down slowly, it doesn't feel like it's falling as it flies leisurely through the wind.
この翼はすごいな。
What's that?
安定感が抜群にいい。本当に私が作ったものとはまるで違う。
I mean, it's all thanks to these girls.
ああ、降りたらいっぱいハグしよう。旋回する。
She said as she tilts the yoke to the right. The aircraft leans to the right all of a sudden. Amanda turns the yoke to its original position and corrects the aircraft which had banked too far back. She moves it too much and it then banks to the left. Amanda, what you doing? Uh-oh.
何やってるのかしら。あれさあ、主翼のテストかな。にしてはなんかヤバげだね。
Yeah.
もしもし、あまねちゃん。もしもし、あまねちゃん。
We received transmission from Kotori.
フラフラしてるけど大丈夫？大丈夫じゃないかも。
Amanda, calm down. Since a few minutes earlier, Amanda had tried to level the aircraft, leaned in too far, and then back again, over it.
エルロンが痛すぎて。葵くん、出番よ。
Oi, Amanda, I'm taking over it. Amanda let go of the controls. In her place, I take controls from the back seat. Double-seater gliders have completely the same controls in both the front and back seats. Just like I did in the simulator. I start turning it using the yoke to control the ailerons and the elevator, as well as the pedals to control the rudder. I tilt the yoke to the right and the aircraft banks. You really only need to move the yoke back to the middle after banking, but in this case it needs to be moved a little in the opposite direction. Just a little. So this is counter steer. I get it.
どうしたの、葵くん。
The reaction of ailerons is too sensitive, but it's okay, this won't be a problem. When I say that the reaction of the ailerons is too sensitive, I mean that if I just move the yoke a little bit, the ailerons move more than usual, which causes the aircraft to lean too far. Yeah, that's actually probably not that hard to deal with if you are, you know, you've practiced. They misaligned. If a man who is really clumsy were to use the controls like this, it could be a bit dangerous. I'm sorry for saying that, Amane.
大丈夫かな。大丈夫よ。いざとなったら湖に飛び込めばなんとかなるわ。いや、ならないでしょそれ。地面に落ちるよりマシよ。
Yeah.
お、治ってきた。
Whew. It seems like we're level again.
大丈夫なのか、葵くん。
Something like that's not a problem. It's a little hard to maneuver, but it should be fine once I get used to it. I'll pilot it for a while if it's not a problem. For now, I'll just fly once around the runway. I slowly turn the aircraft and make it turn around above Kotori and Agaha. From above, I can see them both waving. I wonder if Anchan is watching us too. I was literally, by the way, thinking that as well, if he will see that. I can just about make out the roof of Anchan's factory from here. I turn to more and now we're above the lake. Should we go to the other side of the lake?
今日は気流が安定していて上昇気流を見つけるのが難しそうだ。
If we can't ride the vertical drafts, we can't raise the altitude. Even though we call it flying, actually the glider is continually falling slowly. So if there are no vertical drafts, we'll have to land at some point.
この翼ならいけるかもしれない。
Roger that. If it looks bad, we'll turn around and come back. Let's go!
あれどこ行くんだろう。
We're running away.
風車の丘に向かうみたい。届くかな。さあ。
The glider proceeded to fly across the lake. The altitude was gradually dropping, but we were alright for the time being.
ケーキは私が見ているから。
Thank you! I learned how to read the instruments with the simulator, but I'm still not used to it. Yeah, I feel like that would be maybe too much data to process on the first flight. We just flew straight forward, and after a short time the other side of the lake came into view. There we saw the gentle slopes of the hill and the windmills lined up on top. Today the wind is quite weak, so they weren't really turning that much. That might also be a bad sign.
なんだろうあれ。
Oh!
どこ？
Oh!
ほら、あそここっち来るよ。飛行機かな。あ、本当だ。姉さんって昔から目がいいわよね。
They're the same.
しかし、やけに低いところを飛んでるのね。
Well, we don't have
で
a...
も出ていないようだし。
We don't have a motor in this thing or anything like that. Engine. かっこいい! She thought. From over there, we saw you flying for the first time, Amane. Oh, and it looked like from the same spot someone else noticed us flying.
あの時か。
That was the day I came back to this town. The day it all began. That time Kotori was waving her hand at the glider. Did you see her?
いや、それどころじゃなかった。
She probably was not looking down at all.
あの日は気流がいい具合に荒れていて、生きた心地がしなかった。
Oh. Avionic. Oof. While we were speaking, we had crossed the lake and were now above the windmills. Just like Aman did on that day, we slowly turned above the hill. It felt really strange to look down the giant windmills from above.
ゆっくり回ってる。変な飛行機だね。あれはグライダーじゃないかしら。
Indeed.
グライダー？ええ、多分だけど。グライダー。すごくゆっくり飛ぶんだね。気持ちが良さそう。
Ladies and gents, I think we have new records.
エンジンを積めばもっと早く飛べるのに。どうしてそうしないのかしら。
Because it's a glider. That's why.
葵くん、だいぶ高度が下がってきているぞ。
Roger, heading back. We can't stay here for long. We need to go back across the lake while we still have enough altitude. As we turn back towards the direction of the other side of the lake. I could see people on top of the hill. There are two of them. They must be girls. It seemed like they were looking up at us. They like gliders, the same as Kotori. I bet. While making that up in my head, I leave Windmill Hill behind me. I was like, I'll see you when you come to our school or something.
ふわふわしててなんだか頼りなかったわね。
This one will be a tough cookie.
うん。でも
でも
飛んでるって感じがした。
Yes. I mean, we were.
戻ってきたよ。だいぶ低くなってるわね。着陸するみたい。もしもし、葵、聞こえる？
Loud and clear. Now commencing landing.
了解。着陸するって。
Well then, I'll return the controls to you.
了解。
Nodding nervously, Amane grips the yoke. Can she land for? It's said that landing is the most common time for glider accidents to occur, because it's going from flying to being in contact with the ground. One mistake can mean it's very easy to suffer some kind of physical damage. Oh, and we are also landing, let's face it, on grass. There will be bumps and boops and so on. The landing is difficult, and when you push the yoke forward to lower the altitude, the speed can increase. If you're traveling too fast, there will be a large impact when landing, and you won't be able to stop after landing. It's possible to go past the end of the runway and collide with something. That's why you need to lower the altitude while keeping the speed as low as possible. Basically, you need to lower for a very long time, kind of thing, I would assume. For that reason, the main wings of gliders are equipped with several types of lift-reducing apparatus. By reducing lift, the altitude can be reduced without increasing the speed. Even though the glider is quite simply built, there are several different devices equipped for takeoff and landing.
降りてきた。いいよいいよ、そのまま。
I mean... Amane, in a way that could almost be described as a rough landing, set us down the ground in a way that felt like we were falling. The glider returned to Earth, ran along for a few meters before the wheel brake stopped it. As we opened the canopy, Aga thrust her face inside. We made it! Kind of. Taking off the seatbelt, I clamber out of the narrow cockpit. Amane, are you okay?
大丈夫だ。
She slowly takes off her seatbelt. I get out first and help her get out too. It's been a while. Well, about 10 minutes, but I strangely miss being able to put my feet on the ground.
どうだった？
Kotori arriving a little later than Agha rushes ahead and starts firing questions at us. Well, how should I put it? It was awesome! By the way, now that I think about it, because Kotori dropped around after the first flight, and also it was revealed that, you know, in a two-seater, basically you can pass controls between one seat and the other. Wouldn't it be actually possible for Kotori to control the flight? Aside from the fact that she can't control the pedals, right? I think she could do other stuff for. I mean, sure, it's kind of not full control, but she could. If you could, like, kind of do it the way I think you could. Anyway. It felt totally incredible. No other impressions came to mind. How long were we flying for?
だいたい15分ってとこかな。
なるほど。
ねえねえ、風車の丘まで行ったの？
Yeah, just for a while. I got a pretty good look at it.
いいな、いいな。お疲れ様です、天音先輩。
Aga passes some mineral water to Amane. The cockpit that was continually being hit with direct sunshine was unbearably hot inside.
ありがとう。
Basically a sauna, right?
どうでしたか、主翼の具合は。
以前よりも全然滑空が滑らかでいい感じだった。よし、
でも途中でフラフラしてましたよね。
Well,
ああ、エルロンがピーキーすぎた。少し調整しないと。
他には何か問題ありましたか？
そうだな。
while Kotori and I were overwhelmed with excitement, beside us, Aga and Amane were talking about it in a very matter-of-fact manner.
もう少し飛んでみないとわからないが、今のところそのくらいかな。
了解っす。じゃあすぐエルロンの調整だけしちゃいましょう。
Aga enthusiastically goes over to get the tools.
何してるの？みんな手伝ってよ。今日中に飛べるだけ飛ぶんだから。
The test had only just started. That's right. We have a whole day for this. Then we did a few more tests. The main objective for today was to test the main wings that had just been completed and check the repaired instruments. Also give me flight training. Thanks to the work I put into the simulator, I was able to control it from the very beginning. Did you do the landing for? I only realized this from flying the real thing, but the simulator that Amane had made gives a pretty realistic feeling of flying. Let's go. I have to say, that's what I expect from her. After adjusting the ailerons, I practiced takeoff and landing. Let's go! And I was able to use the basic maneuvers. Let's go! I'm a pilot now, ma'am! As I came back from the 5th flight, Agaha came over to us.
お疲れ
I groaned as I opened the canopy. Ugh. It's so hot!
ー。ほい水。
It looks like if you want to fly in this season, water is indispensable.
だいぶ慣れてきたんじゃない？
Yeah, I think my body's used to being in the cockpit now.
さっきの旋回、すごく綺麗だったわ。着陸もあまねちゃんよりスムーズだった。
Why are you attacking her like that?
葵くんは上達が早いな。
I would not be surprised if it's because he was a cyclist, to be honest. Amane speaks in a way that is hard to interpret whether she's pleased or if she's sulking. It would appear that she still has a complex about her clumsiness. I'm feeling quite worn out, so I'm gonna take a little break. Getting back on the ground, my legs are a little unsteady. Ugh! Rather than actually being tired, being in the air for so long has messed up my sense of balance. Whoa.
十分テストできたし、続きはお昼を食べた後でいいか。
そうしますか。
We continue with that line of conversation when Kotori says,
あのさ、私も乗りたい。
Amane looked at me. No, I can't let her ride with me. You're the one with the license, Amane!
でも、もう君の方が上手だぞ。
Wait, but I need a lot. That might be true for just normal flying, but there's no guarantee that there won't be any problems. If something happens, I won't be able to deal with it.
あまねちゃん、操縦してよ。
あんた正気？
Agaha responds instinctively, and Amane seems a little hurt. However, when I was sitting in the back seat watching Amane at the controls, I suddenly feel quite nervous.
いいの。命をかけるだけの価値はあると思うから。
私たちで作った翼だもんね。
Kotori swallows as she nods.
あ、わかった。じゃあ、ランチの前にもう一度だけ飛ぼうか。
In her wheelchair, Kotori throws her arms into the air.
じゃあ私がウィンチ操作します。葵、小鳥を後ろに乗せるから手伝って。
Sure. Agaha and I pick up Kotori and put her in the back seat.
お尻大丈夫？ゆるくない？
ちょうどいい感じ。
She's scared. What's up, Amane?
葵くんが助けてくれないと思うと不安で。
ああ、気持ちはわかりますけど、後ろの人がもっと不安になるんで。
平気よ。
While we continue the preparations, Agaha waits over by the winch. The launch preparations were complete. I gave her a signal to commence the launch.
ワクワク、ワクワク、
She's scared. I would not do
ワ
that.
クワク、ワクワク。
I would not do that. We should not let them. Like, she's literally shaking.
あれ？
The winch isn't moving at all. Maybe it's a good thing. Oi, what's the problem? A guy's waving in this direction. The next moment. It's fried. Black smoke was coming from the winch.
なんか煙出てる？あ、本当だ。
I'll be back just in case. Please release the tow rope for now.
了解。
I checked that Amanda had released the tow rope, then ran over to the winch. Hey, what's up?
なんか壊れちゃったみたい。
Yeah. Looking at the black smoke rising up like a signal beacon, Ageha called out, completely at a loss as to what to do. On the other hand, maybe it's a good thing that it happened.
壊れてる。
Dude, Amane was so shaky. Amane sounded like she was in a complete despair and she looked at the inside of the winch, which was covered in oil. I feel bad for Kotori, but I feel like it is way safer. Kotori, who really wanted to fly, was downhearted. It looked like one of the parts in the dilapidated old machine had broken and we could no longer use it.
発行前でよかったわ。離陸途中で故障してたら大事故になってたかも。
Amanda notes us to say you're right. Can this be fixed?
自力では難しいだろうな。業者に修理を依頼しないと。
Anchan, where are you?
結構時間かかるんじゃないですか？
1日や2日じゃ無理だろうな。
Oh. For a start, even getting someone to come and get such a bulky machine would be a tough job in itself. To tell the truth, I'm more worried about the cost and the time it will take.
ってことは
今日のテストはここまでだ。
Sitting in her wheelchair, Kotori goes white with shock. Think of it this way. Aoi will practice and you'll be having a smoother flight. Still, I mean, considering, you know, Amane being clumsy and her fear of heights, she's still doing amazing things over there. Alright. Let us end it. Let us end it for today. Tomorrow we'll continue. Maybe there will be more flights. Seems like Anchan got one of his contacts to repair the broken winch, which is nice. Maybe he's already finished with that. That person. And we'll see where this is all going. Okay, the cicadas are going crazy, so let's end it. Hope you enjoyed. Consider liking the video, subscribe, and so on. Happy flights. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.